Hello dear students, أهلا بكم أعزائنا الطلبة. Fourth preparatory students, طلبة الصف الرابع الاعدادي. Today we have a new lesson with Unit 7. درسنا جديد مع الوحدة السابعة, which is Science and Technology. عنوان اليونت Lesson 8, the International Space Station, المحطة الدولية الفضائية. So, objectives: read model presentation and the presentation, prepare deliver a presentation. والlanguage راح تكون عندي revision. Number 1, read the presentation about the International Space Station, which is ISS, اللي راح نسميها. Match the phrases AF with the gaps 1 to 6. راح نوصل العبارات من A و F. Listen and check. بعدها راح نستمع ونتأكد من إجاباتنا. A. Moving on to B. To sum up. C. The topic of my presentation today is. D. First of all, then finally. E. Thank you for listening. F. As you can see from this table. المقطع اللي راح يكون عندنا هنا the International Space Station or ISS. I'll explain what the ISS is. I'll talk a bit about the history of the station. I'll tell you why the station is important. You can ask any questions at the end. So basically هذه العلامة عزيز الطالب راح تكون pauses for intonation, راح تكون توقفات. The ISS is a large spacecraft going around our planet about 400 kilometers above us, where astronauts live, work and study. The whole space station is about the size of a football pitch, but the part where the astronauts live is like a big house really. It has 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a gym. There are also labs from the US, Russia, Japan and Europe. Its history: the International Space Station, Russia, Japan and Europe. Its history: the International Space Station took 10 years and more than 30 missions to put together. The first modules were sent to orbit in 1998, and 2 years later it received its first astronauts. The ISS has been the home of more than 250 astronauts from 20 different countries, most of them American and Russian. Now, many people ask why we need a space station. The scientists at the space station study many things, including what happens to people in space. They also learn about how to keep a spacecraft working for a long time. Space agencies are planning to go deeper in space in the future, and the lessons learned at the ISS will be an important step for that. I said that the ISS is like a big house for astronauts from many countries. It took 10 years to build and is now going around the planet. The astronauts there are learning important things about living in space. Do you have any questions? التوصيلات اللي راح نوصلها عزيز الطالب راح تكون number 1 with C, 2 with D, 3 with A, 4 F and 5B و6 الأخيرة راح تكون مع ال E. Now we'll listen and check. راح تكون هذه نفس المقطع اللي قرأناه فقط مع توصيل الجمل اللي معاه. So, now we will move to 2. Match the phrases A to F from exercise 1 with the purposes below. Which phrase? راح نطابق هذه الأغراض اللي موجودة من عندنا مع التمرين. Number 1 gives the order of the topics in the presentation. 2 reviews what the person said. 3 refers to a slide. 4 starts a new topic. 5 ends the presentation. و6 الأخيرة راح تكون introduces what the person is talking about. Now الجمل اللي موجودة عندنا كانت هي الأولى first of all and then and finally ويا البي D sorry. Number 2 راح تكون ويا sum up. 3 راح تكون as you can see from this table. وال 4 وال A moving on to. 5 with E thank you for listening. And 6 with C the topic of my presentation today is. So exercise 3 we have in student book. Listen again to the second paragraph. Notice how the speaker pauses when there is a slash. عندما راح يكون اكو توقف هاي علامة السلاش راح تكون موجودة. So now بعد ما راح نستمع إلى هذا التطبيق الباراجراف عفوا، راح تكون كيفية وضع السلاش اللي هو هنا راح نطبقه. Now many people ask why we need a space station. The scientists at the space station study many things, including what happens to people in space. They also learn about how to keep spacecraft working for a long time. Space agencies are planning to go deeper in space in the future, and the lessons learned at the ISS will be an important step for that. We will move to the exercise B. Now practice reading the paragraphs, pausing when indicated. راح نقرأ هذا الباراجراف نعيد قراءته، نتوقف لمدة ثانية إلى 3 ثواني في هذه السلاش، العلامة السلاش الموجودة. Exercise C. You are going to write and give a presentation about a planet. Find information in books or in the internet to answer the questions below in note form. Add any information you think might interest your class. If you can find a picture of any of the planet, bring it to class. 2. راح نأخذ معلومات عن كوكب غير محدد عزيز الطالب، نبحث عنه بالإنترنت أو نستعين بجمل من الوحدة السادسة والسابعة وكذلك مع الصور. So what is its name؟ شنو راح يكون اسمه؟ Its name is Jupiter. What does it like? A gas planet covered with clouds. How big it is? 142,984. How big is it? 142,984 kilometer wide and the largest of the planets. أكبر الكواكب. How far is it from the Earth? 588 million kilometer from Earth. And the temperature, it is minus 145 Celsius or minus 234 Fahrenheit. So, what is the position? It's the 5th planet from the sun. ترتيب الكوكب من بعد الشمس. Is it flat, mountainous? Not have a solid surface. لا يوجد. Is it flat or mountainous؟ ما راح يكون محتوي على التضاريس، لا، ولا مسطح. هو غاز بلانت مثل ما قلنا هنا. not a solid surface، لا يوجد سطح سلب. Does it have satellites؟ هل لديه أقمار؟ Yes, 63 satellites. And is there anything unusual, dark and light marks around it and the great red spot اللي هي العلامة الحمراء الكبيرة، شيء غير طبيعي في هذا الكوكب. When was it discovered؟ متى تم اكتشافه؟ راح يكون known for thousands of years، معروف. What is made of 90% hydrogen and 10% helium. Has it been studied by any spacecraft? Yes. Pioneer 10, Pioneer 11, Voyager 1 and 2, Pioneer 11, Voyager 1, 2, Ulysses and Galileo. Other الملاحظات الأخرى على هذا البلد. There may be oceans under some of Jupiter's moons. يمكن بعض الأحيان تكون محيطات في أقمار المشتري. Take your notes and prepare a presentation about a planet. Think about. راح نسوي ملاحظات على الكوكب. راح نفكر what phrases from lesson 7 and 8 you can use. الجمل اللي نستخدمها من الدروس السابقة. Which words you are going to stress. الكلمات اللي راح نشدد عليها. When you are going to pause. متى سوف نتوقف. المقطع راح يكون my presentation is about Jupiter. Jupiter is a huge planet and it is easy to see. Unlike some planets which are only visible with a telescope, Jupiter has been known for thousands of years. First, I'll tell you about Jupiter's position in the solar system. موقع المشتري في النظام الشمسي. Then I'll tell you about Jupiter's surface. Finally, I'll talk about a spacecraft that have observed Jupiter. finally, I'll talk about spacecraft that have observed Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun. It is 588 million kilometers from Earth. Jupiter is 142,984 kilometers wide, and it is the largest of the planets. It has 63 satellites and was the first planet that was known to have moon. Its moons were discovered in 1610 by Galileo. This helped prove that the planets didn't revolve around the Earth. Jupiter is a gas planet. It does not have a solid surface, but is covered with clouds. It is made of 90% hydrogen and 10% helium. Take a look at this picture. Do you see the dark and light marks around the planet? These are areas where winds blow very fast. They blow in one direction in the light areas and in the opposite direction in the dark areas. You can also see a red spot on the surface of Jupiter. It is called the Great Red Spot. This is caused by an area of very high pressure on the planet. That is like a hurricane. The first spacecraft to fly by Jupiter was Pioneer 10. It flew by in 1973 and took close-up pictures of the planet. Since then, Pioneer 11, Voyager 1, Voyager 2, and Ulysses have all studied Jupiter. The spacecraft Galileo orbited Jupiter for 8 years until it was destroyed in 2003. It helped us learn a lot about Jupiter and its moons. For example, we now think there may be oceans under the surface of some of Jupiter's moons. I hope my presentation made you want to learn more about Jupiter. If you would like to see Jupiter yourself, many websites can tell you when you can see it in the night sky. والتمرين F راح يكون الإي practice your presentation with a partner. راح يكون الإجابات did you understand? Quote most of it were some parts of a bit confusing. did your partner almost راح تكون إجابة وأسئلة. Almost did you think your words were correctly stressed? And 3 did your partner speak at suitable speed, pausing when necessary? متوقف partly, your pause is perfect. And did your partner use phrases for presentation? Not entirely, where some phrases missing for presentation. Did your partner make eye contact? Not always. Did you keep on eye contact? السؤال السادس, did your partner answer your questions suitably? Mostly were some answers confusing. Any other answers? ما راح تكون عندنا أي إجابات أخرى. No. Now, in here we have the last exercise, which is F. Now, deliver your presentation to the class. راح نقدم هذا البرزنتيشن التقديم إلى الصف بعد ما يكون هذا البرزنتيشن متكون أو ما بين الأصدقاء اللي موجودة بالبارتنر مع صديقك. نتبادل مع صديق ونضيف إلى ملاحظات ونناقش. مثل ما واضح عندك هنا صورة راح يكون عندي الأسئلة. Did you understand most of it؟ راح تكون إجابتك، وبعدها راح تجاوب أنت صديق زميلك راح يسألك هذا السؤال اللي هو were some parts a bit of confusing وإلى آخره. إلى هنا عزيزي الطالب نصل إلى نهاية درسنا. See you in the next lesson. Thank you for watching.